Hey, how's it going, guys? Mr. Boss for the win here, and in today's GTA 5 video, I'm going to be showing you guys the easiest way in which you can hack the terminal keypads and also the fastest way to crack into the vault. So in order to practice this, you would actually need to get the upgrades inside of your arcade business, and I would honestly only recommend one of them. We'll start with the one that probably most people got first, and that is the casino model. Now, for like the guys who got on the first hour and did this, maybe it would have been important. But the only thing the casino model does is basically show up for looks. It's like a platinum looking mini version of the casino, which is cool. And then it has these tiny blue chess pieces, which are supposed to be your access and entry points. And once you've already established those, you don't have to find them again. So there's really no point to buy like the model casino. It's pretty expensive, especially with all the other things you could spend your money on. So honestly, at the end of the day, I would say do not buy the model casino. It's really not worth it. Again, once you have those access points and points of entry, you're pretty much good to go. You don't have a point for this unless you're just super rich and you want to look at a cool mini casino while you're planning your heist, then go for it. Now, the one that is important and that I would recommend is the door security panel. And this will allow you to practice door security. Now, there's two types of door security. There's the fingerprint scanner and the keypad cracker. And I'm going to show you guys how to do both of those flawlessly today. So let's start with the fingerprint scanner. So for the fingerprint scanner, you essentially have 8 different squares, and you need to match 4 of them to the clone target. Now, if it's easy for you guys, you can just simply take screenshots of when I get the correct components, or you can just save this video or do whatever the case is, because the fingerprints are the exact same each time. So over time, you'll start to recognize which fingerprint is which, and you'll have a better idea of which components you need to choose. So here's how I make this very easy. I start from the outside and I work my way in. It's just like a puzzle. It's easier to get the corner pieces, and the same thing can be applied with the fingerprint scanner. So I always start from the outside in, and then for the one on the inside, I look for a specific feature. Like for example, in the middle of the fingerprint, there's always like a distinct curve. It almost looks like a fishing hook or an upside down J. You can always tell what that's going to be, and then once you've established that, it makes things incredibly easy. So again, you guys can see there we were easily able to get the first one. The second one here, again, I started trying to identify some pieces on the outside and then started working my way in. And once again, I had a perfect signal match. I did the exact same thing on the third one. I was easily able to find out that the bottom and the top right had those signature pieces. I was able to find that easy one in the middle, and then I was able to identify, again, another edge piece. So it's really, really simple when it's all said and done. The biggest difference you're going to run into, obviously, between doing these practice runs and when you're doing the real heist is there's obviously a lot more on the line. Your teammates could die. You could end up losing money. Now, why is doing the fingerprint scanner important? Well, it's important because it will allow you to get to more places in the casino that you couldn't get to, whether that's inside the vault or getting elevator access or pathways that weren't presented themselves. And we'll actually talk about this in either a video tomorrow or later on this week or weekend about how to get the most money out of the Diamond Casino heist. And mastering the fingerprint scanner and what we're going to be looking at next is going to be a big part of that. So honestly, I would just recommend practicing this about 2 or 3 times and you'll get a feel for how easy it is. The first time you do it, it's going to be a little bit confusing. I'm definitely not going to lie to you there. But once you figure out what you're looking for, and if you use my tips to start from the outside in, it really does become easy. I mean, you'll start to pick up like the obvious components that, you know, the game ends up wanting you to choose. So that's the fingerprint scanner right there. The next one is, I think, a little bit harder. It's the keypad cracker. So what's going to happen with the keypad cracker is you're going to get this terminal with 5 columns and 6 rows. And what will happen is it'll start to flash a couple of dummy signals that you need to ignore. The final signal, the one that flashes a couple of times, is the one you need to choose. And essentially what you have to do is match the blue dots once they disappear. So what will happen is you'll start at the top of each column and you'll have to work your way down or up until you choose the right one. Now you get 6 wrong attempts, which I wouldn't recommend blowing through those because just like with the fingerprint scanner, you have to find 4 of these in succession in order to complete the hack. So I wouldn't just go around, selecting all of them, thinking you can get them right. That's obviously not going to work. Now at first this is going to be pretty tough, but basically what you want to do is just try and memorize the last one you see. And again, at first this can kind of be tough, but if someone like myself can do this, you'll be able to get it more often than not. So once you figured out the final positions, you basically just need to rematch them up and you'll be good to go. If you have photographic memory, this is going to be incredibly easy for you, but I'm assuming for the 99% of people watching this video that do not have photographic memory, they will need a little bit of practice on here. And again, it's super simple. Once you figure it out once or twice how this thing works, you'll be able to sort of slow down a little bit and say, okay, when the final ones come up, I noticed that 1 was in this position, 2 was in that position, etc., etc. And just like with the fingerprint one, once you've acquired all 4, your hack will be successful. So again, pretty easy stuff right there. Again, the only real difference between doing it in the practice run and in a heist scenario is time is of the essence. You could lose money, you could lose lives, you could fail the actual heist itself. So I would recommend getting the secure keypad. It honestly makes things a lot easier because I remember that I went into my first heist and I hadn't practiced it at all. And I was responsible for trying to get the elevator to come down. And I looked like an idiot as I couldn't piece together the fingerprints. So don't be like me. Practice makes perfect. Now, the final thing we're going to be discussing today is drilling into the vault. So in order to do this, there are 2 types of drills. There's like a normal drill, and then there is a laser drill. Now, don't get this confused with the power drill that can actually be found for everyone's heist meant to drill into the security lockboxes. That is not the same drill that you use to get into the vault. So for my instance here, I actually had the laser drill. And so this one operates a little bit differently, but it's still pretty similar. Essentially, what you have to do is just use the right trigger to control the laser power. And if you hold down right trigger, eventually if you get to the white at the top, your drill will actually overheat. And if that happens, you have to take your hand off the drill and you basically lose 5 or 6 seconds. And whether you're using the laser drill or the regular drill, you basically have to go through 4 of those different circles right there, those little locks. And there's actually a strategy to doing this the quickest. And I think I found out the fastest way. So the first way I did it, I basically took the drill all the way to the top, like in the orange, in the white. And what I did is as it got close to the top, I would let my finger off the trigger. And this was okay, although sometimes I did end up going too far on the top, and thus that would cost me a couple of seconds. And the kind of stop and start, I feel like wasn't really good for unlocking the vault. So honestly, that first way I wouldn't recommend. This second way I think is the best, and that is to essentially allow the drill to go all the way to the top and then bring it all the way back down, at least the indicator. So you start all the way from the bottom, you go up to the very top, you let it drop almost all the way back down, go up and down, up and down, up and down. And honestly, this was way quicker than any other method that I have tried. It doesn't seem like it would because you have that 2 or 3 second off period, but because you can hold the trigger down for, again, 2 to 3 seconds, you're going to get through those locks very, very quickly. Now, the final method that I tried, which I thought was okay, was holding the drill in the center. So trying to be right in that bright pinkish purple area. And that was okay, although sometimes you will get a little bit too close to the top. And if that happens, it's basically like the first scenario that we ended up going to. So honestly, I would recommend for getting into the vault, use the second strategy we talked about in this video today. Now, the one good thing I will say about the vault drilling is when you're doing this, it's not timed. So it's not going to have an impact on the actual money you get or losing money itself. You'll just probably frustrate the rest of your heist crew members if it's taking longer than necessary. So just get a little bit of practice in here and use that strategy, and it will honestly make things incredibly easy. So now that you know that, would I actually recommend getting the practice vault? I mean, it looks really cool inside of the arcade, but honestly, I would probably say no. You really don't need practice on something like this. So if I was only going to get one, it would certainly be the security panel. That one you definitely need practice on, but drilling the vault, as long as you can understand not to overheat it and you use my method, you should be able to tackle this very easily. But anyways, that's all the information that I've got for you guys in this video today. Hopefully you did enjoy. Again, I'd love to hear from you guys in the comments down below. What is the thing that you have been struggling with the most hacking into the Diamond Casino and Resort? Is it the fingerprint scanner? Is it the keypad cracker? Is it getting into the vault? Let me know your thoughts, opinions, and more in the comments down below. I'd love to hear from you guys down there. If you guys did go to enjoy this video, though, a like rating would, of course, be awesome. And be sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel if you are new. You want to stay up to date on all the latest GTA and all the Diamond Casino Heist videos that I'm going to be doing here on my channel over the next couple of days and weeks. And be sure to ring that notification bell as well. Sometimes YouTube just doesn't work, and if you ring that bell, you'll always be guaranteed to be notified when new videos arrive. But of course, as always, guys, thank you all so much for watching. Take care, and I'll see you guys in the next video.